Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
No.
Y'all, just
This
stop.
is a sham.
Direct.
Waiting a different direction, giving you headphones.
Welcome to DBL. Right up to the last minute. Listen,
I love it. Yeah.
That's real.
That is real.
Right up until the last second.
That's our producer Karen telling me what's happening in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Hey, Karen.
And maybe we should just get right to it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's cut out the middleman. Just put the camera on Karen.
So, Karen, what were you saying about? All right, well, let me do this. Okay, we've been talking a lot about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, but now her friends are coming to her defense. Amber's friend Raquel Pennington testified she saw Amber's, quote, bloody scalp after Johnny allegedly ripped her hair out. In a separate video deposition, Raquel says she took pictures of Amber's face the night Amber said Johnny allegedly hit her. Is that right, Karen? All right, let's take a look.
It's a photo of Amber's face with two black eyes and a swollen bottom lip.
And actress Ellen Barkin is expected to take the stand as well in support of Amber. Ellen claims that when she and Johnny dated back in the 90s, she got jealous and angry, and at one point she said Johnny threw a bottle of wine in her direction. Johnny denied the claims, of course, saying she's just mad and she has a grudge against him and throwing a bottle in your direction. Listen, I don't know. This is all a lot of he said, she said. Why can't we get the makeup people from these shows to be like, I never covered up Amber Heard's makeup, and I did the makeup that night. Won't this clear a lot of things up besides the bottle throw? But can we start clearing things up instead of he said, she said?
This is such a circus.
It's a tire fire. It's awful. It's a tire fire.
I'm sure there's so many things that we're missing at this point because there's just so many things being thrown out there. And it really begs the question, where do either one of them go from here? Like, has this completely overshadowed any of their legacies or accomplishments that are possible in their industries or in their lives?
But when I hear you, but when I watch, and I'm watching because it's a circus and a tire fire and it's kind of entertaining in a terribly weird way, Johnny, no matter what happens, is getting all of the love. Like when he leaves in his car, fans are swarming after him. Swarming. Now the judge has said you can't take any pictures with any fans, but he is smiling. Yesterday he turned around after a terrible cross-examination to Amber Heard, and the whole crowd on both sides were like, hey, in the courtroom. I think it's swaying one way in a very large way.
Do you think that because of the facts, though? Johnny Depp's very charismatic. We watch him on the stand. He's very personable.
Charming.
Very charming, right? And Amber Heard, not so much.
Well, to me,
right? Maybe it's Johnny Depp's a fantastic actor and Amber Heard is not. Do you think that's what we're looking at, or are we seeing the facts and then being like, these don't add up?
Look, I hear audio of her saying, I hit him, I did things. I've never yet heard audio or video ever yet of him touching or hitting or saying he did. Right. Now, he said at one point, maybe I can go punch Amber in the face now that we're married, which is a terrible thing to say. But we've heard Amber on tape saying she hit and punched Johnny. To me, that's a fact that is hard for me to get away when I don't hear that from Johnny. I hear it from Amber.
I don't know if there are any facts. Like, I don't know if there are any facts. I feel like it's almost like, Erica, it's like we're like over the shoulder of like somebody that's writing a book and we're looking at it page by page. So like last week, no one liked Amber. It looked like she was lying on the stand. Well, this week it looks like she's got black eyes. So now
plot twist.
Yeah. So like just, what's next week? And in the meantime, we've seen two actors. Like everybody sleeps on Amber Heard. She's in Aquaman. Right now.
For like 3 minutes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I would be to just be the guy handing out cotton candy? That's a big deal. And it's crazy that that's like, 10 minutes. That's a big deal. That's a lot of money. And it appears like they both tanked their careers for no reason. Even she's on the way up.
I don't think he didn't tank his career.
Agree.
She tanked his career. He's trying to get it back. And in that process, she's tanking her own career. That's what I'm seeing.
That's exactly right.
And Raquel Pennington, I'm sorry, I don't understand the crying in the deposition video either. Like,
right.
And there's a reason those defense lawyers didn't bring up those makeup artists, because they might not have said that. You should have heard from them if you heard her say that. That would have been a great defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk more. I just kind of want this thing to simmer
We'll
down
wait
so
for the
everyone
page
can move
to
on
turn
with their
tomorrow.
lives.
We'll see how we feel tomorrow.
All right, so check out this page, y'all. Pretty interesting. Could we see Patrick Swayze return to the Dirty Dancing sequel in some form? The new director of the new film told Deadline they're going to try to include as many people from the original as appropriate, but they want to be respectful in every way. The director said that involves having a conversation with Patrick Swayze's estate, making some believe Patrick's character Johnny Castle could return in a digitized form, such as a hologram. Patrick, as we know, passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2009.
I can't believe it's been that long.
I know, and at a young age, too.
Yeah.
Listen, I know people feel differently. I know you do, Erica. I kind of dig this. And if Patrick Swayze's estate's okay with it, I think it's cool.
I don't have a problem with holograms. I think that if it's the way
Did you ever
that
think you'd say that on TV? I
What do
don't
you
have
mean?
a problem with holograms.
Well,
like,
we
we're
did
living in the future.
we did
That's
the
a cool
Prince
thing to
one,
say.
and a lot of people, you know.
Well, no, I think that when we were having that conversation, there was a reason behind it because there was a
Exactly.
broader conversation about the wishes of Prince
Right.
himself as the human being. So
Right.
I think if the estate is on board and it's something that they feel like truly honors Patrick Swayze, I'm not going to be like, well, no, we can't do that.
You know what I just watched? The Warhol Diaries that Robert, camera guy, said, and Anthony Harper, our producer, I recommended on Netflix. The voice of Andy Warhol, and it's written of his diaries, his words, was an AI. They got all of his stuff together. They asked the Warhol estate if they could, and the voice, the narrator, is artificial intelligence. So I see this coming no matter what we say, whether we like it or not, we're going to see it happen. And if it's done well, and it is in the Warhol Diaries, it sounds just like him, the inflections, everything. So if we have the technology, I think it'd be lovely to see Patrick again.
Especially in acting form. When you're taking someone's personal words and kind of using them in some sort of way, I don't like that. But as an actor, like, forget Dirty Dancing, Ghost. Come back and Ghost.
It's interesting. Well, that was going to be my question to you guys. You know, it's interesting that we're going back and getting all the old actors that are available. We're trying to do AI with Patrick Swayze, but I'm like, doesn't this seem like maybe they should have almost done what Top Gun did? Like kind of sort of rebooted a little bit where there's younger actors where there used to be, rather than getting all the old characters, including some that are dead. This way, you're kind of rebooting it for another generation to fall in love with, rather than kind of having people in their 60s doing Dirty Dancing. I just don't know if that will resonate with the younger group.
Well, I don't know if Dirty Dancing resonates with younger people. I mean, you have to go for the audience that's actually going to have some type of sentimental, nostalgic value, because I don't know if that story told today will feel the same way if you try to put all of this younger energy into it. So I think that they're going after a demographic that grew up loving
the
Dirty
fan base.
Dancing.
But what if they did Dirty Dancing but modernize it to like TikTok? You know what I mean? Like put the Jabberwockies in there. I know that's even
that
dated a bit.
15, 20 years old.
Listen, I don't know TikTok, man. I'm just trying to think of a cool dance group. You name a cool dance
But
group.
you're right. You miss the heart of what Dirty Dancing is, and it's those characters, and we're all invested. But then we're 40 and above. I mean, we're really.
But modernize it.
I don't know if it has the same heart with this.
I think it does.
I'm on team Jabberwockies with Jeff. We're taking it back to the old school. That's like MTV Rock and Jock days.
Is it that old?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Tori, don't talk to me about modern cool things.
What do you mean?
Tori,
I'm
you
going to
have
give
no
myself some flowers, so miss me with that. Are those cool sayings?
That was good.
Thanks.
Nailed it. Felt like you
Don't
did
support that. Okay. Coming up on DBL, reality star Hazel E. shares the traumatic outcome of her mommy makeover plastic surgery, and Ricky Gervais has a message for people who get easily offended by comedy. You're going to want to stick around. That's next.
Closed captioning provided by.
If you're in the market.
Daily Blast Live is always timely, always focused, always ready, always on cue. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day. Okay, let me explain myself a little bit with my dated Jabberwockies reference. So there's a lot of commercials out there that you see that I don't know the name of the groups, but they started on TikTok. There's one specifically when they're walking out of a hotel and they all kind of lean forward and lean back and they jump in the car and they're all like doing cool things in the car. That's a TikTok group that they offered that commercial to. And I think there's a lot of other examples.
I saw that commercial. I thought it was really cool.
But I'm saying if you did that type of story with like a Dirty Dancing, because there's a lot of dance groups. Dance is super
right, but I
huge
think
right
Dirty
now.
Dancing isn't just about dance, though.
Right.
I think that when I look at a Dirty Dancing, which I've seen many times, I'm also being transported back to a time where going to a camp or a setting like that
like a social.
was a very, it was a normal thing to do. I think that when you isolate some of those components to try to make it more relevant to what's going on today, it doesn't translate because a lot of teens have never been to camp or been to an environment like that.
It's like
I couldn't
foreign.
You
call
don't
it
have to
camp,
use all
but-
that. You could just have the woman having her own
Jeff,
flag.
Jeff, here's
you
my
guys are
question.
taking it too literal.
Here's my
But the whole
question.
thing is their relationship. It's not about the dancing and Dirty Dancing. It's their
I don't think Dirty
relationship.
Dancing exists today.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like,
This is like
there's a-
pitching an idea when you're in Hollywood and you're like, I got this great idea, and everyone's like, listen, beat it, kid.
I don't think Dirty because there's
Call it
apps.
Dancing Dirty.
Yeah, but there's apps for that. I don't see it how
Take
it
your pants
translates.
off. No.
Do you think
Remember that? I carried a watermelon.
maybe you can't reboot anything where cell phones weren't already there?
That's
Because
not true.
it's-
They just redanced Lolita. What's that movie?
West Side
Definitely
Story?
not Lolita. That wasn't it.
Welcome back. We talk a lot about celebrities getting canceled, but comedian Ricky Gervais says he would welcome being blacklisted in Hollywood. Would you now? He told Stephen Colbert he made jokes about AIDS, cancer, and even Hitler in his new Netflix special. Let's watch.
I deal with taboo subjects because I want to take the audience to a place that hasn't been before, and there is a tension. And I think people get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target. And smart people know you can deal with anything.
All right, Al. He says specifically smart people don't get offended by these things. That's kind of where we're going in that direction.
Well, it's not that
That's what he said. His words. His words.
I don't want to label people smart and dumb, but I do think that we put, and I don't know who I was talking, one of you guys off camera a couple of days ago about like the position we put our comics in. We asked comics.
Are you too dumb to remember?
I'm not a smart person. I don't get Ricky's joke. We ask comics that in real time if something serious is going, something like the war in Ukraine. We ask comics to make horrible situations funny. The way you do that, almost like a magician, is you need to have your assistant suspended in chains over water with sharks, and you're like, oh my gosh,
right.
where is this going to go?
Great.
And then they fix it. That's what the comic does. The comic goes, you know what? I love? I love people getting divorced. And everybody's like, what? That's terrible. You figure out a way to make that funny. The joke probably isn't about being divorced. It's about, like you said, Erica, look over here where here's the joke, almost like magic. And if people are getting mad at this, we can't even get to the joke because the only thing that's going to be online tomorrow is this.
Right.
Al Jackson said he wants people to get married and he wants the black family to be destroyed. That's going to be the headline. And by the time people are done clicking on it or whatever and they realize it's not true, what's trending on my name? It's too late. Who's going to book me? Why would you book me? There's a million comics. Well, and so you're going to get a watered down performance.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
please,
you. I think it's interesting that he said smart people will get it because I do think that we know so much now and we're so aware, and that's a part of what's contributing to the cancel culture or to the outrage culture because we were in such a bubble for so long in these silos, and now we have access to all this information. I know it seems crazy because the internet is so cruel, but there is also a major rise of empathy for people that you may never have even considered their position before. And for that reason, people get more sensitive to it. So it's interesting that smart was the way that he was characterizing the people who were going to get it, because I do think that blast of knowledge that we all have is contributing to the outrage.
I think there's an audience for people who like things that are canceled. And I say that because I hate the word canceled. I think Ricky Gervais goes to that audience. They want to be George Carlin. They want to be taken there. And he knows that although there was a cancel culture, the pendulum, as I always say, is swinging. And there's a large audience that want to be provoked and have that blue kind of like uncomfortable comedy. And I think he knows it's coming back.
Well, I think that people say that they want that, but I think one reason that Louis C.K. is still canceled, even though he still sells tickets and he's still a tremendous stand-up comic.
And award winner?
Which is Grammy award winner.
But the thing is, he still has a fan base, because I think what people initially loved about Louis is he showed us an honesty about ourselves, especially as adults, that we'd never felt before. Like saying, like, the first comic to be like, we all hate our kids sometimes. And you're like, oh, Dad, do I ever feel like that? And he would make that funny. And I think people loved him for that. But when we saw that side of him where he showed us that he was just like us, that he got power and he abused it, I think that's why people haven't come back around, because he showed us a truth about ourselves that we're not ready to accept yet. And that every human being is capable of incredibly good and incredibly bad. And when you're Louis C.K., you've been kind of a weird, squirrely dude your whole life, and now all of a sudden you're a famous person and you have power, and how you wield it is inappropriate. I think a lot of people wonder if they would do the same thing, and I think that's why we can't deal with Louis yet. I really do. I think it's about uncomfortable truths, and that's what stand-up is.
I think he was sexually harassing a lot of people and needs to be taken off the circuit.
How about Ricky, though? Some of his things that we mentioned are kind of in the past. No one gets as heated. Chappelle brings up Black Lives Matter, trans right. Like Chappelle is on the verge where we are right now. I mean, when you're talking about Hitler jokes, I think kind of people aren't. They're still very, very, very offended, but I don't know.
There's an audience for it.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I don't know. Very interesting. So. All right, coming up on DBL, reality star Hazel E. talks about the pressures of bouncing back after having a baby, why getting a mommy makeover turned into a nightmare. Next.
I feel every night.
You might have seen it on TV. This commercial claims running your dishwasher every day can save on water. That's when our Verify emails started coming in. Multiple people asking us if this is true. So the question, does running your dishwasher every day help save water? Let's verify. Our source is Mary Geiger, owner of All About the Pipes Plumbing, Anta Plumbing and Drain, and Charlotte Water. We went straight to the city of Charlotte. In an email, Charlotte City Water told us it depends on if it's a newer, more efficient appliance and how full the dishwasher is. They then told us a plumber would have the best answer. So we reached out to Geiger.
So it is much more beneficial to use the dishwasher.
On Anta Plumbing and Drain's website, it also states the dishwasher uses half the water you would have used by hand washing the dishes.
You could use 20 to 30 gallons per hand wash load of dishes versus most of the efficient dishwashers nowadays use anywhere between 3 and 5 gallons.
Geiger says an average faucet, if you leave it running, can drain 2 gallons per minute. So even if your dishwasher is not full, she says it's a better option and more sanitary.
You're not using sponges or washcloths that are harbor bacteria.
So we can verify that yes, running your dishwasher every day can save on water. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Daily Blast Live is always focused, always ready, always on cue, always timely. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day.
She became a reality star on Love and Hip Hop. Now this mom is getting real about plastic surgery and the pressure to snap back. Earlier, we spoke to Hazel E. about her mommy makeover nightmare. Take a look.
Hey Hazel, so before your mommy makeover nightmare, you had some positive experiences with plastic surgery and you've been pretty transparent about it. So what did you have done initially and what made you want it?
Initially I have had positive experiences in the past with my nose revision after breaking it. So after I had my daughter, Ava Dior, I decided to go for a traditional mommy makeover, which is like a tummy tuck, breast augmentation, and liposuction. And God, it just went deadly from there.
Wow.
Which brings me to my next question, Hazel. I got a couple of them. Why travel overseas to have plastic surgery in the middle of a pandemic, mind you?
It was an offer for being an influencer on social media. I had another celebrity friend that had said she went and had a positive experience. And they were just like, we want to come do you a mommy makeover, show off your amazing results. We're here in Istanbul. I've traveled to Istanbul before. I've spent a lot of time in Dubai, so I wasn't nervous about going abroad for plastic surgery just because I've been going over there for years. So I did it. It was a pandemic. And I thought, like, at the place I was going to, they said, oh, we have recovery homes, we have nannies to help with your baby. The offer just seemed too good to be true, and clearly it was. You know, you pay thousands of dollars for these procedures. I wasn't even thinking about a mommy makeover because my daughter was only 9 months at the time. But they were like, no, it's fine. We can do it now. You're 9 months postpartum. We can take the selling point was we can take more fat than they can in America because we don't have the same HIPAA guidelines, which now currently that might not be such a good thing, right?
I do appreciate your transparency. So please walk us and our audience through like exactly what went wrong with your mommy makeover. Like talk to us about the complications, if you would.
Okay, so the misconception right now is that there was one mommy makeover. No, I went to Turkey, had the first mommy makeover. I was supposed to be there for 10 days, which turned into 30.
Oh my goodness.
In those first 10 days, my breast got infected. So I go into the mommy makeover. The first thing that goes wrong is my breasts get infected. So they had to then remove the breast implants that I didn't even want and make boobs out of what the tissue I had left. So that was the first disappointment. I then ended up with 2 blood transfusions, and then I had to go under a third surgery because the tummy tuck got infected. So they had to cut the tummy, they reopened the tummy tuck and remove the fat necrosis in that. Cut to, that was in April of 2021. In October of 2021, I got another one of these offers in Miami saying, let us fix the tummy tuck that they messed up for you in Turkey. And I'm like, what? You guys can fix it? You guys can fix me? Fix all this stuff? Because now I'm in America now. Like now we were equating to everything happening that went bad because I was overseas. So I then take this offer. They even paid me for this second procedure in Miami at 305 Plastic Surgery. And I ended up getting sepsis. I was in the hospital for 30 days and I'm in wound therapy and all kind of stuff now because of this tummy tuck and the tummy tuck revision that I did last year.
Hazel, this is criminal.
wow.
I listen, and
it
again,
seems predatory.
It's predatory. It's criminal. She was coerced, like honestly, and I can't imagine. You must be still dealing with these issues, not to mention the PTSD from your bad plastic surgery. How are you feeling now?
I have to shout out to Dr. Ish, my doctor, psychiatrist on marriage boot camp, because I was suffering a lot of PTSD. I wasn't sleeping. I was having these recurring nightmares. Like, you get blood transfusions in another country, it is traumatic beyond experience.
And are you against plastic surgery now?
I'm not against plastic surgery, only because we live in such a vain world. We live in an Instagrammable world. We live in a place where image is everything. And so people are gonna go ahead and still get these procedures, whether you can advise them or not.
DBL Nation, you got to check out Hazel Lee's new podcast, You've Been Hazed. It's available on all platforms. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
In a call with shareholders, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz announced the company would be offering hundreds of millions of dollars worth of new benefits, including raises to its employees. But he said those benefits won't be available to workers who are in unions or are in the process of unionizing. An article on the company website reads, Starbucks lacks the right to unilaterally make these changes at stores where there is a union or union organizing. The Starbucks Workers Union filed a complaint with the National Labor Labor Relations Board, saying the announcement is intended to stop union organizing. The union also told Verify, quote, Starbucks is permitted by law to offer these benefits to workers at unionized stores. Our bargaining committees will demand that these modest improvements be given immediately to all. So let's verify. Does labor law allow Starbucks to offer raises and new benefits to its unionized workers? Our sources, the National Labor Relations Act, the National Labor Relations Board, and Matthew Bodie, a law professor at St. Louis University with experience in labor law. The National Labor Relations Act is the primary law governing what's legal and not legal when it comes to unions. And here's the pertinent section for this case. It says there is a, quote, mutual obligation of the employer and the representative of the employees to meet at reasonable times and confer in good faith with respect to wages, hours, and other terms and conditions of employment. The National Labor Relations Board expands on what exactly that means on its website. It says employers cannot, quote, make changes in wages, hours, working conditions, or other mandatory subjects of bargaining before negotiating with the union. So it's true that the company could not just start giving new benefits unilaterally to their unionized workers without first checking with the union. But there's nothing that says they're prohibited from making that offer to the union.
The only requirement is that they would go to the union and say, okay, we want to bargain with you. We're raising everyone else's at these non-union represented locations. You know, can we do it at your store?
So we can verify, yes, labor law allows Starbucks to offer raises and new benefits to its unionized workers. When we asked Starbucks about this, the company declined to elaborate on their previous public statements. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Twitter bots are pretty much exactly what they sound like, automated tools that tweet without a person behind the keyboard. But they're not all bad. Bots can be used to share valuable information, like COVID updates, job postings, and traffic reports. The real problem is malicious bots posing as real people. They can be used to spread misinformation, fill your feed with spam, and generally disrupt interaction on social media. According to Twitter's official estimates, there are roughly 229 million active bots on the service. That's roughly 5% of Twitter's daily active users. But back in 2017, an independent study by an Israeli tech company estimated that anywhere from 9 to 15% are bots. The actual number is still yet to be determined, but it could potentially play a big role in Twitter's future.
Welcome back to DBL. Unlocked social media accounts are being sold on the dark web. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. You could receive a malicious link from a friend's account that will take over your account and lock you out. So avoid becoming a victim. Never click on anything that seems suspicious, even if it's from someone you know. Also, check their profile for unusual activity and change your password often. But the biggest tip, never share your personal information with others on social media. Do we need to tell you that? If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-953-0836 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. The Jabberwockies residency reached out because we're out in Vegas right now, and I'm going to be part of their show.
You're lying.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Roger Rabbit. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.